Welcome to the Indian FTR 1200. More importantly, this is the R carbon model, draped in juice-stirring carbon fiber. And with that, we ask an interesting question. What exactly is the FTR for? An interesting question, and one not in fact asked by me. In fact, these questions have been brought about by my peers, my fellow motorcycle journalists, both locally and abroad, who've all kind of said, where exactly does it fit in? What function does it serve? How does it sort of work? And the question we need to ask is, are these questions justified? And the best way to do that is to, ride it and find out. And with that, let's get straight into it. The first FTR was based on the American flat track races, of which Indian was the dominant manufacturer. The first model even had bigger wheels and flat track tires to make it somewhat authentic. But now, the bigger wheels have been replaced by standard issue 17-inch road wheels. Now it's a road bike that looks like a flat tracker.
Yeah, they're lucky. They're lucky it's got 17-inch wheels. If it didn't have 17-inch wheels, I would be so on the flat track right now, lobbying it sideways, out of control, like a maniac. I mean, the only thing stopping me from doing that is the 17-inch wheels. Otherwise, I'd be there. It's got nothing to do with lack of bravery or talent or any of that. It's totally to do with the small wheels. Yep.
You might think that the road wheels mean that this is a lightweight hooligan machine, but no.
Not so much. It's got a wet weight of 235 kilograms, which is, well, it's a lot. I mean, that is a lot. In fact, it puts it dangerously close to the likes of the R1250 GS and that sort of bike, so yeah.
So then what about performance? The FTR is a liquid-cooled 1203cc 60-degree V-twin motor. The horsepower should be pouring out like a raging torrent.
Yeah, okay, about that. There's no kind way of putting it. This 1203cc engine puts out 120 horsepower. Yep. That's less than a Triumph Street 765 RS. Yeah.
And technology, there has to be some of that.
Yeah, actually it does. It's got this very cool TFT dash that's, it's touchscreen, that's pretty cool. It's also got, among all the usual standard issue stuff like lean sensitive ABS and traction control, rider modes, all of that, connectivity to your phone. It's also got, as standard, cruise control and heated grips. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Although the one glaring omission is that there's no quick shifter, neither up or down. That's not great.
And then there's the price. Surely it's,
no, again, this bike will set you back, the carbon will set you back 405,000 Rand, and that's a lot.
That is a lot. Given that this is essentially a naked sports bike, it makes it pricier than the likes of the KTM Super Duke, the BMW S1000R and the Aprilia Tuono. All these bikes produce more power, are lighter, and will carve out laps quicker than the FTR ever could. So it seems that perhaps the journalist's questions carry some weight. What is the FTR for? It might be a good question, but not one without an answer. And we begin with something that cannot be measured. So the question of whether you pay 405,000 Rand for one of these, well, just take a moment and look at it. Just look at it. It's brilliant. It's gorgeous. And I mean, 405,000 Rand, the Mona Lisa is valued at 830 million. And that has a 0 to 100 time that's atrocious. How do they get to that value? And if that has that value, then maybe there's something to this.
So here's the thing about American motorbikes, okay? The Japanese and the Italians measure everything according to how they can shave off lap times. It's all about power, horsepower, torque, how it leads through corners, all that kind of stuff. They measure that. American bikes are different. They measure it through the seat of your pants. It's all about feels. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure they built this bike, put it through all the seat of the pants tests, came to the best seat of the pants alternative, and then even after that thought, oh well, I suppose you better figure out what the horsepower in that is. Through the seat of your pants, this is a jolly good motorcycle. It definitely has the feels.
These feels are aided further by front and rear Öhlins suspension, fully adjustable Öhlins suspension. Plus, there is Brembo assisting with the stoppage power. That all has to count for something. Does it overcome the weight issue though?
So here's the thing about heavy motorcycles compared to light motorcycles. When a bike is light, you praise it. You praise it on how it can break lap records, how you can toss it into turns for nothing, how it feels so good. You praise it. Then you get on a very solid, heavy motorcycle like this one, and you still praise it. It's a different kind of praise though. And you chuck it into this corner, and there's more a sense of achievement in riding a bike like that and getting through corners. You can chuck it in pretty hard. You can go pretty good. It's got the right brakes, got the right suspension. It's just long, low, and quite long. Long, low, and heavy, sorry. But that makes it very solid, very forgiving. Just not necessarily that quick. The lighter bikes you can chuck around very easily, but they tend to get a little bit kind of jittery and out of shape. This thing is just, wherever you go, it sits planted in the road. And again, you get this wonderful sense of achievement when you actually do achieve a corner. Here we go, let's have a look at this corner. It's like in movies when they talk about cornering a Mustang compared to a Ferrari. A Ferrari's just so easy, whereas in a Mustang, there's like a sense of achievement.
And so finally, let's look at the question again. What is the FTR for?
So then we get back to the question, what is this bike for? The answer is really simple. This bike is for feeling good. Genuinely, it's for feeling good, feeling very good. This bike makes you feel good when you ride it. This bike makes you feel good when you accelerate, when you brake, when you turn. Everything you do on this bike feels good. It feels good when you walk up to it in the morning, anywhere. And not just that, it feels good when people come up to you and tell you how much this bike makes them feel good. And in fact, it's amazing how the popularity of this thing, everywhere you go, people come up and ask you about it. It's incredible the amount of attention this thing gets. That's got to count for something. You know what though, if you came up to me and told me you would not spend 405,000 Rand on this bike, I'd understand. I'd be like, yeah, okay, I get it, that's totally cool. Then again, if you came up to me and said, I want to buy one of these bikes for 405,000 Rand, I'd also say, that's cool. In fact, that's very cool. And there'd be a huge amount of respect in my voice. It's all about feeling good.